One of the most underrated features of the Garmin Drive 52, and this also includes the 66, 76, and 86 Drive Smart models, is turns, which you can access by triple dot, and it's right there. Now it's grayed out right now because I am not navigating to a location currently, but when you do, you can just tap and enable it, and I'll show you how that works. I'm just going to navigate to a city here, but now the city does have some distance from the current location, and I also have it set to avoid the toll roads, so it's going to take a little bit to calculate, but once it does, I will be on my way in simulation mode, of course. It's almost done, and then I'll get to show the feature to you. Actually, I can enable this even before the route takes place. It will just show that it's waiting on this, which is why it's just showing little lines right there. Simulate, yep. Now if you started driving, then you don't see the lines, you just tap, tap, and there we go. Why is this feature so awesome? Because, as you can see right now, you see the next 4 turns. That's your next turn, and then turn after that, turn after that, turn after that. The next 4 turns at all times. This is great because Garmin is the only one that actually will show the next 4. You can get the next 2 on TomTom Go, the navigation app for the phone. That's true, but that's not free. You got to pay either a monthly or yearly subscription to get that. I think Organic Maps does show the next 2 turns. I think. I'd have to check, but there's that. That one's free. That's true. But then again, you only get 2. And with TomTom, you only get 2. With the Garmin, you get 4. And again, this is on the Drive 52 that you're seeing now. Drive Smart 66, Drive Smart 76, Drive Smart 86. They all have it. And you will notice that when you're using this feature that sometimes it is more important to have a list of directions than it is to actually see the map. Now, before continuing, if you happen to have an older Garmin model that does not have the turns feature, you can still get your list of turns by tapping the top bar, and it will show your list of turns that way. So you're not without. True enough. But this is obviously better because you get to see the map and the list of turns at the same time. Also bear in mind that I can tap here to get the next turn, a blow up of the next turn, like that. And all these, you can tap any one of those and see a blow up of that as well. So, oh yeah, loaded with goodies. And this is good. Now, as I said, sometimes it's more important to get the list rather than actually see the map. And for those of you old enough to remember, back in the late 90s and the early 2000s, before we all had electronic GPS navigation, we used Yahoo Maps or MapQuest or something similar. Not with a smartphone. Oh, we didn't have smartphones back then. You'd print it out or write it down. Usually you'd print it out if you had a printer. You would print out your list of directions. You would, well, first you'd get the route first from Yahoo Maps or MapQuest. Then you would print it out, and you would take that with you in the car. Yeah, I remember doing that. I remember hating it too, but it's what we had at the time. Like, I didn't start using GPS, a Garmin, until 2005 with a little tiny Street Pilot i3 that was about the size of a baseball. You can look that up. Actually, I've done a video on that. If you want to see what the Street Pilot i3 looks like, yeah, just search for i3 or Street Pilot on my channel. You'll see how small it is. Ran off of 2 AA batteries. Wow, that was forever ago. And yep, I still have one. Anyway, back to this. Right. Little digression there. Sorry about that. Having this list of turns, yeah, where does this matter the most? I would say in three very specific situations. The first one is on the highway, because sometimes you'll see the next turn up here, but what you want to know is the exit after that, and that's where it will show up over here. That's darned convenient. The next one is when you take the exit onto a very complicated exit ramp or entrance ramp, for that matter, where you have to go around and up and down and all over the place and all these crazy turns and whatever. What makes that much easier to navigate is when you know the list of turns and the map at the same time. Also darned convenient. And I would argue safer, because you get to quickly look at the screen, you see the list of turns, you know you've got this crazy complicated thing coming up, and you'll be able to navigate it a lot easier. And the third instance is city driving, deep city driving, because when going from block to block to block, you're going to take left turn, left, right, etc. All in very quick succession. So, yeah, when you have roads in quick succession like that, it's necessary. Although I will make a point that in cities where roads are sometimes one way, sometimes not, Boston, Massachusetts is a great example of that. Specific times of the day, actually in New York this happens too. I'm sure it happens in every major metro to some degree. Some roads at certain times of the day or on certain days of the week, they are one way. But then at other times, you have two-way traffic. Now, this will not tell you that. It won't. Because it changes constantly. It depends on the rules of the city that day, literally that day, possibly that hour. Maybe there's some large event going at the Civic Center that's 4 or 5 blocks away, so they have to make a certain street one way, and then other days, no, it's totally two-way on this day and then one way on the other day. This will not tell you that. And there aren't many that would. Even when it comes to Google Maps, you can't always trust that to tell you, yeah, it is one way between, I don't know, 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. on a Thursday. I don't think even Google Maps will tell you that. You have to know in advance by either looking at the schedule or just driving there and just seeing what happens. And then if this tells you to go a certain way and I can't go that way because it's one way now at this point in time, just take another turn, let it recalculate, let it do its thing. You can totally do it. So, yeah. But at least you have your list. You have your map and your list at the same time. It is a reason to own one of these. Because if you try to get that with an app, and even there are a lot of infotainment systems that don't show the list of turns and the map at the same time. It should be a standard feature in all GPS navigators. It really should. But in order to get 4 turns all at once and the map at the same time, you need a Garmin. Literally need a Garmin to get it. And believe me, I know them all. I've looked at Magellan's, who's doing nothing more than fleet and off-road models now. TomTom, yeah, looked at that again. They do 2 turns, not 4. Organic Maps, as I mentioned a moment ago, it is free, but 2 turns, not 4. In addition to that, yeah, it will tell you the 2 turns, but only as arrows. This will show the distance, the arrow, and the name. Also in a miniaturized version over here. You get the same information. Distance, name, and direction. Believe me, it really is a killer feature. So I think I've blabbed enough about that, but again, very easy to get. You don't have to get a special model. You do not. It's built right in. 52, 66, 76, 86. Start a route. Tap the menu down here. Tap turns. And drive. And you're good.